Chris Wood, the global head of equity strategies at Jefferies, publishes a popular weekly newsletter called Greed and Fear. In this edition of the Note, Wood says that the fundamental and structural reforms in the 2 5-year terms of PM Modi's government have helped India realize its full potential. In fact, he quoted a statement from a note 21 years ago which said that the bottom-up appeal of India has always been severely diluted by the lack of a compelling top-down story. In a sense, India has been the inverse of China, which is the ultimate macro story but without compelling micro options. But now, he says, India has seen fundamental structural reforms which is helping us take advantage of intellectual capital, physical capital and positive demographics. In fact, Wood underlined the 3 main achievements of the Modi government. First is the massive government-funded investment in infrastructure. This, he says, was a game changer in improving overall logistical efficiencies of the economy. The Indian government has been focusing on infrastructure through a slew of initiatives, especially the Gati Shakti project. In past budgets, the government has increased the capital investment outlay for infrastructure. In the 2024 interim budget speech as well, FM Sitaraman raised capex by 11% to make it 3.4% of the GDP. Second, he says, was the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Act, which was introduced in 2016. This act helped Indian promoters understand that if they defaulted on loans, they would lose their assets. And the third, he says, was the introduction of RERA, which is the Real Estate Regulation and Development Act of 2016. The property market was in a downturn for 7 years. But now it's been on an upturn for the last 3 years, giving multiplier effects for the economy. The RERA seeks to protect interests of home buyers and boost investments in the real estate sector. It basically came up with a set of regulations and rules that need to be followed. For long before that, home buyers had complained that real estate transactions were heavily in favor of developers. RERA aimed to create a more fair transaction between those selling and those buying property, bringing better accountability and transparency. Wood also spoke about how, apart from the top-down approach, India's bottom-up story remains dynamic. In fact, the stock market is now primarily driven by domestic flows as opposed to what was the case 21 years ago. Wood also highlighted the Modi government's managerial skills on the global stage. In a world of rising geopolitical tensions, India has managed to maintain a foot in both camps. India is on good terms with the US-dominated G7 while also being a fully signed-up member of BRICS.